A Parrot Who sang like a Canary by John Bertucci. The summer heat in New Orleans had a way of making even the most hardened criminals sloppy. That's what NOPD Lieutenant Lionel Landry thought as he studied the security footage for the 20th time. Two men, their faces obscured by surgical masks and ski hats despite the August heat, had been terrorizing the city for weeks. They started small, convenience stores in mid-city, tourist muggings in the French Quarter. But like most criminals who taste success, they got bold. Too bold. The Garden District, with its antebellum mansions and old money, became their new hunting ground. Behind those wrought iron gates and magnolia trees lay treasures that would set them up for life. Or so they thought. Carlos and Manuel, though the police didn't know their names yet, had done their homework. They'd watched the Richardson mansion for 2 weeks, noting when the family left for their summer home in the Hamptons, learning the maid's schedule and studying the security system's blind spots. What they hadn't counted on was Squealer, the family's 10-year-old African gray parrot with a vocabulary that would put a sailor to shame and a memory like a steel trap. The name Squealer hadn't been accidental. Mrs. Richardson had named him that after he repeatedly tattled on her teenage son's attempts to sneak out at night. "Jimmy's going to Bourbon Street." He'd squawk in perfect imitation of a police dispatcher. The bird had an uncanny knack for exposing secrets, a trait that was about to prove particularly troublesome for two certain criminals. The break-in started smoothly enough. The security system's override took exactly 37 seconds. Carlos had practiced until he could do it in his sleep. The jewels in Mrs. Richardson's bedroom safe were their target. 3 generations of family heirlooms, including a ruby necklace that had survived the Civil War. "Rapido, Manuel," Carlos whispered, his flashlight beam dancing across the Victorian wallpaper. "The safe is behind the Monet." That's when Squealer decided to earn his name yet again. "Carlos and Manuel, bad men, call 911. The parrot shrieked, mimicking Mrs. Richardson's refined southern accent perfectly. The maid, Maria Delgado, wasn't supposed to be there. She'd come back for her forgotten phone, only to find 2 masked men in the master bedroom. The last thing she saw before Manuel panicked and shoved her was Squealer's cage toppling as Carlos grabbed it. She hit her head on the marble fireplace mantel, the impact triggering a stroke that would leave her in Baptist Hospital's ICU for weeks. Their hideout in the 9th Ward was the kind of place that didn't attract attention. A shotgun house, with peeling paint and a sagging porch, identical to every other neglected property on the block. The neighbors minded their business, especially after dark. Perfect for 2 men planning the biggest bank heist in recent New Orleans history. By day, they blended in perfectly. Carlos cooking Creole classics at Arno's, Manuel keeping the kitchen spotless. No one questioned the quiet Hispanic workers who kept to themselves. Their accents marked them as just 2 more immigrants chasing the American dream in a city built by dreamers. Squealer, however, had other plans. The parrot had spent years listening to Mrs. Richardson's Bridge Club gossip, absorbing every secret and scandal in the Garden District. Now, trapped in the 9th Ward hideout, he waited. Manuel had left the cage door opened and a window cracked. Just an inch. But for a bird with Squealer's determination, it was enough. Freedom came on a Tuesday afternoon, while his captors sweated over stoves in the French Quarter. Squealer's wings, unused to more than short flights around the Richardson sunroom, carried him 3 blocks before he spotted a yellow cab. The driver, Michael O'Malley, was a legend in New Orleans' cab driving community, known as much for his heroic orange tabby cat, Hercules, as for his encyclopedic knowledge of the city's backstreets. Hercules, sprawled across the passenger seat as usual, merely flicked his tail as Squealer landed on the cab's hood. The cat had seen stranger things in his years patrolling the French Quarter, like the time he'd cornered a purse snatcher in Pirate's Alley, earning himself a medal from the mayor and a lifetime supply of Gulf shrimp from grateful quarter merchants. Michael, his silver hair gleaming in the afternoon sun, took one look at the exhausted parrot and made a decision. "Come on, Cher," he said, his Cajun accent thick as gumbo. "Let's get you somewhere safe."